Lesson 11. Elizabeth I. Elizabeth I was the daughter of Henry VIII and his second wife Anne Boleyn. After her mother's execution, when Elizabeth was just 2 years old, she was declared illegitimate and spent most of her childhood away from her father's court. By the time of Henry's death, she had been reinstated as a princess. Elizabeth was accused of plotting against her sister Mary I and was imprisoned in the Tower of London during her sister's reign. Mary even considered having Elizabeth executed and tried to force her into converting to Catholicism. After becoming queen in 1559, she returned the country to Protestantism, but was seen as a fairer and more accepting queen than her sister. Elizabeth was known for her intelligence, wittiness, and her great skills of persuasion. She was determined to prove wrong those who didn't believe a woman could rule. She was also known to be extremely vain and had a weakness for flattery. Her reign is known as the Elizabethan era. Despite pressure from her advisors, Elizabeth refused to marry. She didn't want to hand control of her throne over to a man and was nicknamed the Virgin Queen. Elizabeth could be extremely jealous and was also paranoid about threats to her crown and Catholics trying to steal her throne. She even had her cousin, Mary, Queen of Scots, imprisoned for 19 years after Mary sought help from Elizabeth after being forced to abdicate her own throne. Frustrated, Mary began to collaborate with plotters in a bid for freedom. This was discovered and Elizabeth used it to justify having Mary beheaded. The execution of Mary led the Pope to declare Elizabeth a heretic and instructed King Philip II of Spain to lead a Spanish armada against her. This was made up of a fleet of 130 ships intent on invading England and overthrowing Elizabeth. Elizabeth had her soldiers take a stand against the armada. They used tactics such as fire ships. These were ships that were set on fire and sailed in the direction of the Spanish fleet to break them up. Fierce storms then destroyed the boats in the fleet, scattering them across the Scottish and Irish coasts. Elizabeth's reign saw the country become richer and more powerful due to trade with other countries and exploration of new territories. England was fast becoming recognised as a strong and powerful European power, which could hold its own against the others. Cunning and intelligent, she was everything Henry VIII could ever have wished for in an heir. She died on March 24th, 1603, after a 44-year reign, and was succeeded by Mary, Queen of Scots' son, James VI of Scotland, and James I of England, finally bringing England and Scotland together. Her death marked the end of the Tudor dynasty. Your activity for Elizabeth I is to create your own Elizabeth I dress-up doll. For this, you want to cut out human body shape. Either print it on card and cut it out, or draw around it onto cardboard, which will be thicker and more sturdy. Draw on the details such as the face, features and hair, and then choose different bits of fabric or other material to create your own Elizabethan dress fit for a queen. You could use paints or other art materials to make it into a true collage. Have fun, and maybe you could even use some stick-on gems.